Okay, so it's mid-morning here and I need a little pick-me-up, and it's time for my coffee break. Only I'm not going to have coffee, I'm going to have something slightly different. And I want to talk a little bit about our breaks during the day when we need energy. So we go through the day and our energy starts to dip and we need something to pick us up. And so what I want to bring consciousness to, what I want you to start asking yourself is this question. Number one is, how are you energizing your body? So what are you doing when you need energy in the mornings or afternoon? What are you doing for your break to get that energy? And most importantly, I want you to think about how is it energizing your body? So let's say it's 11 o'clock and you're tired, you had breakfast maybe at 8 o'clock, you've been working, you need a quick little something. So there's lots of different choices. So sometimes you might go for a donut or a Danish, right? So a donut or a Danish, it's pure sugar, basically, and the sugar is energizing you. And it makes sense, we all need sugar. Our brains need sugar. Glucose is one of the molecules in most sugars. Almost all sugars will break down eventually to the molecule glucose. Our brain needs glucose to function, a lot of glucose in fact. Our muscles need glucose, so we need sugar to function. So if you're not thinking about it, what you're going to do is you're going to eat that sugar, which makes total sense. You need sugar, and you eat the sugar, and it energizes you, and that's what you do for energy. But here's a question that I want you to think about, and that is that if you're carrying excess weight on your body, you already have sugar. You're carrying sugar around. So fat cells are a combination of fatty acids and sugar, and we're carrying around fat cells. And if you're carrying excess weight, you have enough sugar on you to last you for, in some cases, months. Even if you have just 5 pounds of extra weight on you, that could easily last you for months if your body knows how to manage it properly. So we've got sugar. So the question is, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, and there's an important question I want you to ask yourself. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, you're tired, you need sugar. Why don't you just access your own sugar? You're carrying it, why don't you just burn fat and use that sugar? Why isn't your body doing that? And the answer is because you're giving it sugar. And the more sugar you give your body, the less your body is able to access the sugar and burn it itself. Because what happens is, when you eat sugar, it elevates your insulin levels, and insulin is the fat storage hormone. Eventually, our insulin levels stay elevated so much that our body is in fat storage mode all the time and loses the ability to burn fat. So it's like we're carrying all the sugar around, we're carrying all the Danishes and all the candy bars that we need, we just can't access it. So we're walking around with all this sugar, and we're having to take in more and more sugar simply because we can't access the sugar. And that's the problem when you're using sugar as a form of energy. So that, to me, is not the most ideal way to get energy. Another way that we get energy is by having a cup of coffee. So when you have a cup of coffee, one of the things that it does is it excites your adrenal glands, which causes a stress response, which actually does pull some of the sugar out of your body by pulling it out of your muscles and in some cases your fat cells. But then that causes an insulin response that eventually, for some of us, also develops insulin resistance and in the long term causes us to gain weight. So it's kind of like an artificial stimulant that then eventually causes a metabolic problem. So in the short term you can get a little bit of energy out of it, but in the long term, especially if you already have sugar balancing insulin resistance problems, you're going to develop more insulin resistance and it's going to be even worse. For me, what I do now is when I need a cup of coffee or some quick energy, what my cup of coffee is a combination of super greens. So super greens are basically the highest form of nutrients that you can possibly put in your body. And what they do is they give your body the specific nutrients that your body needs to run properly so that you can think straight and function properly. And most importantly, it helps your body regain the ability to burn fat and access the sugar that you're storing. So what happens with me is I'm going to nourish my body in a really, really effective way, and my body's then going to burn fat and use that fat as sugar. So that's how I'm going to get my energy. And now the thing about this is that you have to train your body. So when I was overweight, there's no way I could drink what I'm drinking right now, this combination of super greens. And the thing about super greens also, I just want to talk about in general, is that they're very, very individual. You've got to find ones that work for you. Most of them are extremely unpalatable. But over time, they become more and more palatable because you actually train your body to access energy this way. So what's happened over the years now is I've trained my body to access its energy stores by giving it get really, really high quality nutrients that help your body burn fat and nourish your body and think straight and feel more calm and more centered and give you the specific nutrients that you need for all the metabolic processes that your body has. So the one that I've evolved into is a combination of different super greens, and this isn't about making my super green recipe, because the reality is that this would not be tasty for most people. But what will happen over time is, as you start introducing super greens or some combination of really healthy drinks throughout the day, your body will learn. Your body will learn that, oh, that's nutrients and that's energy. But in the beginning, it doesn't feel like that at all. So when I was 400 pounds, if I were to have this drink, I would spit it out. My body thought that the way to get energy was through chocolate and danishes and pizza and chips, and the way we all do when we're not conscious. But through this evolutionary process, slowly it's gotten to the point where that is not energy to me anymore. What is energy is giving myself nutrients that help me access my own energy. So I'll tell you what I'm drinking and you can try it, but really what you want is to get to a place where you find what works for you. So I use a combination of, we have a super green formula, and this isn't about selling my supplements here, it's not what I'm doing, but we have a super green formula called Green Me Up Johnny, which I find is very palatable. None of this stuff tastes great, especially not in the beginning. Now for me it does. But I find this is very palatable. What I like about it is this super greens in general. You want super greens that have a lot of different combinations of really, really high nutrient dense foods. So what are nutrient dense foods? Things like chlorophyll, spirulina, wheatgrass, barley grass, oatgrass, alfalfa grass. This also has things like broccoli in it, and it's got digestive enzymes in it which help you digest foods, and it's got probiotics, which are friendly bacteria, also all things that are essential for staying fit, healthy, and energized. And it tastes fine. It doesn't taste good, it tastes fine. I combine it with this one, which is called Perfect Food by Garden of Life. And this is the cacao form flavor. Most of these don't taste good when they're flavored, but this one does. I like the Garden of Life products too because they're very easy on the digestion. They've got lots of probiotics and friendly bacteria. And the two things that both of these super greens have, which you want to look for in a super green, is it's the dehydrated juice, not the actual grass. So some super greens taste absolutely horrendous. And most super greens do, in fact. And the reason is because they take the things like the barley grass and the oat grass and the alfalfa grass, and they just dehydrate the grass. And then when you drink it, you're just drinking dehydrated grass. We don't have the stomach to digest grass, whether it's dehydrated or not. It's a big, big flaw and mistake in the way people produce super greens. But if you juice the grass, and that's the whole reason why we have things like wheatgrass juice and alfalfa juice, grass juice, and barley grass juice, is the juice you can digest. The juice is very nutrient dense, doesn't require any digestion at all, it goes right into your cells, and it nourishes your body and helps your body burn fat and access your sugar reserves. This is the dehydrated juice, not the dehydrated grass. So both our super greens and Garden of Life, they're dehydrated juice, not grass. So make sure when you get a super green, and there's lots out there, and I've tried many of them, make sure that it's dehydrated juice and not grass. What I usually add to it is spirulina, which is very high in protein and specific nutrients in a very digestible form. Again, most people don't like the taste of spirulina, so rather than put it in your super greens, you can just take a couple of super greens. This is just encapsulated spirulina. So forget about a specific recipe right now because, again, I want you to make this your own. But what I usually do is I will take a blender full of 3/4 of water, and then I'll put maybe 5 to 7 spoonfuls of this, and maybe 5 spoonfuls of this, and then maybe a spoonful of this, and I'll put it in the blender. And you got to keep playing with it. And then I'll just leave it in the refrigerator, and whenever I want a quick pick-me-up, it's there. And I have this, and what I feel is instant energy. And I don't feel the type of energy that you feel when you're having either a cup of coffee or a Danish. So with that type of energy, you get a quick burst, and then you're tired again. With this energy, you get this a long, calm, steady state of energy. And the reason is because you're not getting a burst of sugar. What you're getting is nutrients going into your cells that help you access your own sugar, and then your body's accessing its sugar, which is burning fat throughout the day, which is what you want anyway. So it's all one-stop shopping if you train your body to start using super greens, and you can also do it with green juices, but really, really super high nutrient foods as a quick pick-me-up. Now that doesn't mean that you don't have your meals of whatever. If you're having a pizza, but have it with a salad or something like that. Whatever your meals are, fine. Don't just drink super greens all day and nothing else, but try every once in a while, instead of having the coffee or the tea or the chocolate, try finding a super green formula that is palatable, because that's really all that you can hope for in the beginning. Eventually it tastes good, but find one that's palatable and start drinking that at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Keep it in the refrigerator and just have a pick-me-up of that throughout the day, and that's totally going to change your metabolism so that you become a fat burner and a sugar maker instead of a sugar eater. And that, as much as anything, is going to solve your weight loss problems, because instead of piling on sugar all day, you're going to be burning sugar all day. So be a sugar maker, not a sugar eater, if you can. And the way to do it is to train yourself by getting lots of super greens throughout the day, and to at least be conscious when you want energy of where you're getting your energy and how it's energizing you. So always ask yourself, where am I getting my energy, and how is this specific thing that I'm eating or doing energizing me? And by bringing that consciousness, you'll start to think more in terms of accessing your own energy stores by burning fat rather than piling on fat. So just something to think about. If you've got super green recipes that work for you, or green juice recipes that work for you throughout the day, let me hear them. Let me hear your comments, and put those recipes in the comment box below. Let's try different ones. Let's share different ones. Let's find something that works for everyone. This particular combination of Garden of Life, our own one, and Spirulina, that works for me. But see what works for you, give it a try, and watch how your energy changes, becomes more stable, and your metabolism changes, and you become more efficient at burning fat. So that's it for now. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Take care.